gave you the better mic stand.
Wow. Can't say wow. I remember this time. Wow.
That was rough. Oh, that one was
Jules
rough.
was whacking shit.
Yeah. It was like.
Yeah, it was like. There. That would make fun of my clapping and shit. Yeah, that worked great. Thank you very much. She was bad. Everybody was bad, actually.
I was gonna say, yeah.
You were the best at slating things and did all that out of everybody. You were by far the best. Like I said, we stopped slating things, but I kept telling everybody, like, I don't need it slated.
You just need that spike.
Yeah, I just need to. Well, I don't even need the spike unless it's external audio recording.
Yeah.
Which I actually meant to run a cable from here to my camera and see if I could record all three of these into that camera. But then I got here and I was like, wow, I'd rather not do that because then I don't have all three channels to work with.
You don't have the control later on.
Yeah, I don't have all three channels to work with, so whatever. Anyways, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the On the Break podcast. My name is Matt Brinker, Colby Lykins, and we have Garrett Jordan here with us this week. I'm going to go into it quick because we have a lot of things to talk about. We're just going to kind of bullshit and run around today.
I was like, oh, man.
We've got a peace sign. So, Garrett, give us the 50-second introduction of who you are and what you do and why are you on this podcast anyways.
All right, well,
I don't know.
I can't do that in 50 seconds.
50 seconds, go. Timing, clock on.
My name is Garrett Jordan. I dabble in photography.
Okay.
I go by Shaky Shutters on Instagram, and that's really the only social media I run with right now.
You on Facebook?
No, not.
Do you have Twitter?
I have Twitter, but
not like a Shaky
it's
Shutters.
a personal
it's a personal
account
one,
that I haven't touched in like 7 years.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't use
I
Twitter.
love Twitter.
I'll hop on every now and
Twitter
then.
is the best social media platform.
I use Twitter just to shitpost my friends.
Yeah.
Like they'll ask questions, I'll just give bullshit answers. Like,
Yeah, Twitter by far is the best social media in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
It's
It's my
so
favorite.
easy and so
It's
like,
always been my favorite.
Well, I used to hate it there for a long time whenever it got really, really, really like fucked up with all the noise and all the advertising and all the spam and all that stuff. Like I hated it then. But in the last like 2 years, it's gotten cleaned up a lot and it's way, way better. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Anything
You're
else
good.
you want to add to that?
No.
Okay. I'll add mine to it. I first met you when I don't think you were involved. You introduced me to Luke, but Luke introduced me to you, and we were talking about, I think, was what how it went, right?
I think. Like,
I think so.
Well, I got thrown into the Instagram group.
Yes.
And then you found out I was a photographer
Yes.
from Jackson, so you just kind of introduced
That's right.
yourself.
That's right. I was like, yeah, and the engagement group was like, oh, hey, if you ever need help, whatever. You came to the brewery one night. We talked for like an hour and a half just about photography. I showed you how to use a camera and all that stuff. And he says dabbles in photography. He does a great job. You are just getting started. It's kind of a beginner level camera, but everybody starts somewhere. And my encouragement to you when I first met you and we started talking about cameras was, as I encourage everybody, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Take pictures of everything. Take pictures of your fucking mom and your cat and your fucking dog and the bees and the flowers and the boat and the river and the blah, 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 everything.
Oh, yeah, that one pisses off all of my friends because they'll be trying to do something, and I'm just like,
take
hold
a picture.
on.
Take a picture.
Hold on.
Yeah. Pull it out. Take a picture. Keep going. Like, take pictures of everything because the more shit you do and the more you try, the better you're going to get at it. So that's my 2 cents on how I know you. And then we've obviously gone back and forth. I've seen you grow through photography. It's getting better and better and better as you go. Sidebar, Justin, dude, some of those pictures he's been posting here the last couple weeks.
His
Actually, this
stuff
week.
has greatly
He's
improved.
also,
I mean,
and that's the thing though, but like that's the whole thing is the more you do, the better you get. The more you do, the better you get.
sure.
So, Colby, your backstory. Who is Garrett to you? How do you know him?
So Garrett and I met.
I'm going to interrupt you. This is Keystra. I'm kidding.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. No,
I did that
I'm just
so
getting-
many times
yeah, I'm
last
just getting
week.
you back to
on
last
purpose.
week. I'm on my game today, boy. You watch out.
All right, yeah. We get to pay the. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah. Oh, shit.
So Garrett and I worked at. We worked at a gas station together. I had worked there for a couple months before he started working there, and I think you got kind of thrown onto third shift with me on the weekends.
Yeah, just kind of out of nowhere. I
Yeah.
got hired for first shift, worked mostly second shift, then just got thrown to third.
Yeah,
And you guys spent all night together hanging out.
all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
What do you sell predominantly in third shift? Cigarettes?
pizza.
Yeah,
Pizza.
a lot of food.
A lot of food, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drunk
I've never
people.
had food from down there. Ever.
It's good.
If you're
Never.
going to get it from me.
Okay. Nobody else is good.
Not that no one else
Garrett.
is good, I'm just
Okay.
better.
Okay, all right. I understand that.
Fake confidence, but
We pretty much
Retweet.
we pretty much became friends pretty quickly, and
yeah.
I mean,
I say you, Luke, and I, all, like weekends, we were all there.
Yeah.
So
even if one of us wasn't working, the other one would just come
Be
in
hanging out there.
and
Yeah,
we'd
just
just
come
show
hang
up.
out and help. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and that was 2016.
Yes.
And then I stopped working there in 2017?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Somewhere around that time, and moved
How long had you been at the liquor store when I first met you? That was September of 17.
I was actually filling in then.
Really?
Yeah. Kelsey, my assistant manager, was out on maternity leave, and they pulled me from the filling station over to there to fill in for a few weeks.
How did I never know that?
I never told you.
Fair enough.
That was so matter of fact and so dark, all in one thing.
That's pretty much
I never
how.
told you.
I went over there for a few months. After a few months of being back over at the filling station, then I went back to the liquor
Yeah, you
store
just
and
kinda
went
went
on
over there full-time,
permanently.
like-
So you were, when I first met you, you were only there like that couple weeks or whatever, right?
Yeah, about a month.
So weird. I've been thinking a lot about this, and we'll get back to that in a second because I do want to pay the bills and thank 6 Sense Brewing, again, allowing us to film in here. We have solved the window problem, and I don't have to worry about Colby looking out the window, right, Aidan? We have Aidan on the 1s, 2s, and 3s. It just never sounds right that way. Aidan's on the 1s and 2s, again, as usual. Thank you, Aidan. You're the real MVP. I bought some blackout sheets to cover the windows, so we don't have to worry about that. We can control the light in here.
Yeah.
Other than that, we love the space. Thank you, as always, 6 Sense Brewing for allowing us to film here. Our owners are great. We love you for that. Beer is great. We have one new beer out right now. It's called Actually, we have two. Ginger Munchkin came out last week, too. We probably should have had that on the board, but it's not my absolute favorite, so we kind of skipped that one. It's good. It's just not my style.
Yeah.
And I say that about all of our beers. We've talked before about the Hef. The Hef is a fantastic Hefeweizen. It's just not my style of beer,
Yeah.
which is why I don't fuck with it. Ginger Munchkin, I can drink. I just wasn't really feeling it today. Anyways, Keystroke Error. Do you know the backstory of Keystroke Error?
Yeah.
Okay. You do not know the backstory of
do
Keystroke
not.
Error, and neither do our viewers, so I would tell them. Keystroke Error was Merc Juice. Somebody, who I won't name, but everybody's going to know who it is, forgot to order. No, how did it go? Ordered the hops, but ordered the wrong amount, like size-wise, of hops. So they were out of hops, but then they came to the brew day and they didn't realize it until I think the day before they realized it. Tried to overnight the hops. The hops didn't come in time, so they had to use different hops, which I don't know how much you know about craft beer and things, but hops are going to completely change the flavor profile, the aroma, the ABV even will get changed depending on the hops you put in. So we called this one Keystroke Error because it was a mistake. It was owned actually, which I love. I love it when people screw up if they own that mistake. And this one was owned, aggressively owned. That's why it's called Keystroke Error. But this is basically Merc Juice, different hop profile, different flavors, different aroma.
It's really good.
Just a different take on our traditional kind of New England style IPAs. It is very good, smooth, drinkable. I have not had more than a couple sips of it, to be honest with you. So
This is the first time I've had any of it, so
Yeah, I've not tried it before, and it's
I
good.
really like it. You know.
And
I dig it.
I'm typically picky when it comes to what I
Yeah.
drink. Not really. I'll
Yeah.
drink anything, but what I enjoy is
But you came in here, you like Merc Juice and Mercamus, right? Those
Yeah,
are your two
man.
favorites? Yeah, that's what I thought. And those are just such
Yeah, when
solid
I
beers,
see them,
man.
I'm just like, Merc Juice, right?
Yes,
And,
Merc Juice,
you know,
right, of course.
he just 4 or 5. It's like I don't care.
If we don't get to it, we also have Telepathy, we have Mercamus, and we have Toss in the Caber. We've had them all before, but we'll probably describe them as we go around.
I don't think we
through
did
it.
Caber on
I
here.
feel like we've had it before, but maybe not.
because
If we
did-
hadn't, then we probably should have had a whole one today.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel like we
But I don't think
did,
that
maybe
we've had-
not.
I don't think we've had Caber.
Well, that was what I used to drink as a customer when I came in. A couple other what is it I normally say? Whatever. A couple other notes I want to get to. You were out of town last week. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
You were on a trip, I believe, New York
Yeah.
City, correct?
Yep.
Okay, we'll get to that. You and I were hardly here at all last week, except for
Yeah.
Sunday, because we were shooting a movie with Jules that we talked about a couple weeks ago when Jules was on. I think we talked about it when Aidan was on a little bit too, and I think we talked about it even last week when Kelsey was on.
Yeah. Something we've
We
really
did
been
it, man.
preparing for a long time.
We did it. It's been a couple months in the making. It's been years in the making for Jules, honestly. I think she said she wrote the script, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And, she trusted me with the visuals, along with Jalen, her cousin, for the lighting and the visuals. He had input on all that too. Colby was really kind of the do-everything man of the weekend. If something needed grabbed or something needed fixed or something needed held, Colby was the man to do that.
Even the toilets here at 6
And
Cents.
even the toilets at 6 cents. I got a call from my bartender Saturday night they were celebrating St. Patty's Day here, and it was wild in here. And she's like, the toilets are messed up, like it's overflowing, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, give me a minute, I'll send Colby over. Colby came in, fixed him, and then bounced, and he was good. So yeah, you were the do-it-all man of the weekend. Like, you were the real MVP of it, honestly, because you need someone like that. And then Aidan was there on Thursday for the same thing, same reasons. He was also the slating master of the world. He had the slate on point. He's kind of ignoring me. Right? He shrugged his shoulders at me.
He's over there tweeting shit about
Yeah, he's
us.
tweeting shit like, Matt Brinker's an asshole. I hate this Matt Brinker guy. I told him earlier, I told you when he came in here, that he will struggle in life to find anybody that is quick to execute and as efficient in executing things as me. And that was just in relation to me buying blackout curtains.
So now I know if I want someone killed that you will
Matt Brinker
execute
is the
them for me.
executioner. Anyways, to wrap that
I'll do
up.
it cheaper.
Jesus. To wrap all that up about the movie, it was great. Aidan, Jalen, Colby, Krista helped. She did a fantastic job on makeup. Jules, Kelsey was there for some stuff. Our talent was fantastic.
Yeah.
Colby did some acting. We had some people donate time, especially energy, houses to shoot in,
space,
props.
The cops didn't arrest
electric,
us when they
the
showed
cops
up.
got called on us on Saturday night. Yeah, we were out at Hammertown Lake, and we had some red lights flashing. Hi, Grant. We had some red lights flashing, and I guess.
And I kept kicking people out of the park too. I was like,
people
get
kept
the fuck
pulling
out
up.
of here.
Yeah, people kept pulling up, and Kobe walks to the cars, and I don't know what you said. 'Cause
I
it's too
just
far
said,
away.
hey, we're shooting a short film right now. There's one dude I had to literally say at the very end, because I told him so many times, I was like, yeah, so you're gonna have to just get out of here, because like I didn't know what else to say. His lights were right in the shot.
Yeah,
like,
you're not welcome. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone called the cops, which I told
was
Jules
probably
and
that
you.
guy.
I told
We
you-
should have called the cops ahead of time.
No, I told you guys that someone was going to call the cops, and Jules did converse with local law enforcement about this before, so there was like some pre-planning that went into it, but they still came out, and I was like, oh shit, here they are, and thankfully it was two people that Jules cuts their hair, and she knew, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, we're shooting that thing we talked about. And like, oh, cool,
Yeah, they're
be
cool
safe, and they
cops.
left.
Was it like Jackson
It was
police?
yeah,
or-
it was guys
okay.
that you know.
Okay.
So.
Well, and actually, one of them that was in the passenger seat was over here at Archinetti's this afternoon, and he's like, hey, did you finish that movie? And I was like, how'd you know about that? He's like, oh, I was in the cruiser. I was like, oh! I was like, hey, thanks for not arresting us. Anyways, we got all the shots that we need. I have them all pulled out, all the good shots pulled out of the timeline into its own little sequence right now. I'm now organizing and getting that together. I've got the audio all separated, everything color-coded for the day and what it is and blah, 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 and all that stuff. All the annoying things that have to go into video editing to make it easy, which is why I don't trust anybody to edit videos. No, I'm kidding. You don't have the time to do it. And he's out. Aidan's gone. Oh, he's going to fight me.
Yeah, I
That's what he's
figured
going to
you'd
do.
like that keystroke.
Keystroke is good.
It's very smooth.
That's all done. It's cool. I don't know what we're going to do from here with it other than...
We got some soundtrack work in your editing, I think.
Yeah,
then we're
well,
done.
editing, soundtrack, and all that stuff. And then it'll be done. I don't know what we're going to do with it,
where it's
going to
go
go.
from there, yeah.
I know we have some eyes that want to see it, and then we've had some people ask Jules and myself about doing like a local premiere and stuff like that. But there's been a ton of buzz about it, man. It's been kind of weird because it's, when you're in it shooting it, it's like, this is cool. Like it really was a cool fucking
It was
experience.
an
but-
awesome experience, honestly. It really was.
That's stuff that I don't want to take any more away from you. I just want to talk about it here. We're going to actually shoot something after this about it, talking about kind of wrap up. So that's enough of that. Tell us about New York. How did you like it?
It was.
Why were you there, first of all?
I had a friend who said, "Want to go to New York?" And I said, "Sure." Like, it was more of just spur of the moment. Like, he goes there like numerous times a year.
Yeah.
And they already had 3 people in the plan. They figured one more person to make the
Add a
hotel
fourth?
cheaper.
Yeah,
Like-
for sure. That's awesome. So have you ever been to New York before?
No,
And then
I've never been through any of the states that we had to go through. To
Really?
get there.
Not even like Pennsylvania and all
Nope.
that? What?
I go south whenever it's time to
Okay, yeah,
vacation.
yeah,
like,
that's
'cause,
true.
well, my
That's true.
parents are always the ones who picked that
Yeah,
growing
that's
up.
true.
So
Okay. So I've been as far north as New York City. I've been as far east as the coast of Rhode Island. Might have even been Connecticut somewhere. I don't know. No, I've been to Rhode Island. It was God, where was I? I don't remember. I've been to Providence. I know that. But I've been to the coast there too. I don't remember what the town was called. I've been all the way down the East Coast. I've been all the way through to Texas pretty much. and all the way up to Iowa, and then pretty much back. Besides, I haven't been to the Dakotas. I've been like all of the eastern half of America, and most of the Midwest I've been to, either driving or flying. California, Nevada, and I think that's it. How about you? You've been everywhere, haven't you?
I've been to a lot of places. Yeah,
Places?
I've been. I haven't been to New York. I've been to Massachusetts. Been a little bit. I really haven't experienced the East Coast very much. That's probably the area
Really?
that I miss the most, which is weird because it's close to here. But the West,
Not really. It's like 8 hours for the closest.
only in California is the only like West Coast state that I've been
Yeah.
to. But I mean, I've traveled quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been as far west as Indianapolis.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm not well traveled. That's my goal.
So this
Like,
was probably. Oh, go ahead.
like that's my goal for life. Is I want to go to all 50 states, which is pretty much what everyone from the states wants to do. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
see them all.
And
Yeah.
as a photographer, I mean, that gives you a platform to do it and make money doing
Yeah,
it. I
it's-
mean,
multifaceted. like-
That is why I picked up a camera, and I think we've talked about it before, and we've have on here. The reason I picked up a camera and started doing what I'm doing now is because I want the freedom to be able to go places and do things. You can make money on the road if you're
same
good.
thing as a musician.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to travel and I wanted to see new people, new places, try new food, drink new
Yep.
beer.
I think, like, have you guys ever been out of the country?
Yeah.
Where have you been? Oh,
China.
you've been like, yeah.
China, Vietnam.
All right, hold on. You know where I'm going to go.
All right.
Colby and I had a conversation about Southeastern Asia. I think Southeast Asia is like Indonesia, Singapore, blah, 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 like stuff like that, right? That's what I think
Which
of.
it is.
That's what I think of. He was telling me that China is in Southeastern Asia, and I agree, but I don't think of China as a Southeastern Asian,
Right, and I
Southeast
understand
Asian
that.
country.
I don't feel like we're at an argument point here.
I know.
I feel like we agree. Yeah.
I know, but like I just want to get a third party opinion on this real quick. Would you consider, as big as China is it a Southeastern Asian?
I think that with as big as China is, you could say it's northeastern, southeastern.
It's
like-
everywhere. It's
That's,
all of it.
yeah, that's
it's
what, that's
ubiquitously
the
Asian.
same thing. Is that
Yeah,
the,
like,
the
for lack of a better
parts?
term.
Basically, what I was saying was that one of the parts of my sister's from is Southeast Asia, but my brother, he's not. He's from He's from just above North Korea. So
That's why. Now you went just to China and that's it.
no,
Out of the
China,
country?
Vietnam. I only
Vietnam.
stopped in. I was in China for like maybe 12 hours
Okay.
collectively, and it was all airport at Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah, that's-
Now Vietnam, I spent about a month there. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a little bit different.
That's wild.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, anyways, that was a random conversation we had last week for some reason, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I think I think of like Vietnam, like all that stuff is like Southeastern Asia, but whatever. Anyways, you're right. Parts of it are there, and parts of it are there, and parts of it are there. It's all over the place. It's huge.
Yeah.
So you have not been out of the country?
No.
So
Farthest north I've been is Lake Erie. Farthest west is like Indianapolis. Myrtle Beach is probably farthest south, and now probably New York City is the farthest east.
See, and that's good though, because now I visited a lot of places when I was young,
Yeah.
and I didn't really get to experience them on my own terms most of the time. It was usually like what my parents wanted to do, or what my dad worked a lot out of state, so we would travel sometimes with the jobs.
Yeah.
I spent like a week somewhere, but most of the time I was kind of locked up in a hotel room. So
Yeah.
it's nice that you're older now and you kind of get to choose where you want to
Traveling's
Oh, yeah.
way different when it's
go in your,
on your own
terms.
terms, because I did a lot of traveling for work in the first half of my life, and it was always like, we drive to the place, we fly to the place, and then we have things we've got to do and competitions we've got to be at, and you get like some nightlife. You get to go out and have some drinks at the end of one or two of the nights that you're there.
16-hour day or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then you're working. Which sidebar? You're probably close to me. We did almost 50 hours last weekend. In 3 days, we did almost 50 hours of the movie, right?
Yeah, and then we did.
It was like 47, but I actually got over 50 because I had to do all the dumping, the video dumping, editing, organizing, charging, all that stuff. So I was
Yeah.
over 50. And then I was probably more like 55 to almost 60 hours that week.
That's what I was saying. Like, after I finished up yesterday, I was like, man, in the last 4 days, I've done like 65 hours at work.
Yeah, and then you worked all day Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also worked all day Sunday. I was here a little bit longer than you, but I did like 70 plus hours in the last not the last 4 days, but Thursday through Sunday of work. Which is something I don't ever really want to do, but it's for the cause. And my long-term goal is to be able to travel and do stuff. Like be able to travel to other countries and make movies or films or whatever it is. So,
what are the goals with Shaky Shutters?
Honestly, just to keep doing it and see what happens. I mean, I don't really have an end goal.
Yeah.
I feel like having an end goal just puts a limit on what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So I never really created a goal. I just do it as long as I can.
I try to live with short-term goals because, like, I feel like for so long playing in bands, my goal was like, I want to play the Warped Tour. I want to play the Warped Tour. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's like, well, there's no Warped Tour now, so.
Wait, is it Warped Tour?
Well, now.
This is probably old news, and I'm hearing about this.
Last year was the last full Warped Tour ever. And this year they're doing like a couple dates, and that's it.
What?
Yeah, it ended
crazy.
last year.
So what did you do in New York? What was your favorite 1 to 3 memories or things that you did or saw or whatever?
I say the World Trade Center Memorial. That is something that, I don't know, there was a feeling there that will always just stick with you. I say, like, as soon as you see everything, it's just a very somber, like, you cannot shake that feeling for the rest of the day at least.
Yeah. How old were you when that happened?
When
2001, how old were you?
I know when it happened.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, when
I was 4 years old.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I say I vaguely remember. Honestly, it pissed me off, but not for the reason it pissed off every other American.
Yeah.
I was watching cartoons and it cut to like the news.
Yeah.
And I came in and complained to my mother, and then that's how she found out that everything happened.
Wild. And then you would have been.
I was in 2nd grade. I was in 3rd grade. My bad.
Yeah, so you would have been.
I was in 3rd grade.
Which is like what, 8, 9 years old?
I was 9 years old. Yeah.
9 years old, yeah. That's what I thought. So I was 14. And my mom called, and at that time it was just a house phone because we didn't have cell phones back then. Well, you did, but they were like the big fuckers still.
Yeah.
Mom called the house phone and said, hey, go downstairs. We might have talked about this before, but go downstairs, you're about to watch history. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was arguing with Mom. We talked about this when Tyler was on. I was arguing with Mom about history doesn't matter and shit like that. And I was like, whatever. So I went downstairs. Slow your roll, buddy.
Oh man, I was just ready for that Merc.
You guys are a beer and a half ahead of me. Well, no, half a beer ahead of me. Anyways, I turned on the television, I think just in time to see the first plane hit. Because I think at the time when I turned it on, it was early enough in the morning that the first plane had not hit. You weren't born, were you? 1 month.
1 month old.
Oh my God. And he dabbed behind the cameras, by the way, just so you know. Yeah, I didn't go to the memorials when I went, but it is something that you'll always remember. You'll always remember where you were, the feeling. I remember the conversations on the television. I remember talking to my family. I remember
I just remember the immediate attitude of the world.
Yeah.
Like everybody was, you saw so much more red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
For a really long time, for a few years.
Yep.
A lot more red, white, and blue. A lot more patriotic songs. Lee Greenwood was on the radio every day. Alan Jackson was on the radio every day.
Alan Jackson's the one I remember.
Toby Keith was on the radio every day. Those were things that you saw a lot more present in the, and I feel like as much as what was going on at the time, America did come together.
Did.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and I mean it was a terrible thing, but.
At the same time, it kind of tore itself apart, though.
Yeah, it did.
I was going to say, I don't know, the whole history there, American citizens who just, if they practiced Islam, they immediately became,
alienated.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were a lot of good things that came of it, as there are in any bad situations, but there were a lot of other bad things that came of it.
Yeah.
There's I wouldn't call it 50-50 split, but things always go different directions.
Yeah.
In any good or bad situation, things always go different ways.
Yeah.
And it just really depends on people's attitudes and their perspective and things like that.
Yeah. And point of view.
So I've been to New York once, and it was the coolest experience for me because I got to fly on a private 4-person plane from Pennsylvania to White Plains, New York, and I got a chauffeur from the private airport where I was with the guy I flew with the guy that owned the camp I was working at. Mm-hmm. And he has a house in Pennsylvania at the camp where he's an owner, has a house in New York City, also has a house down in the Hamptons. And he would fly in the summers during this camp, he would fly Sunday he would fly from the Hamptons to New York and drop off his wife, where she was like an investment banker in New York City. And then he would fly to Pennsylvania and then spend the week there. And on Friday afternoons, he would do the return trip and pick her up and go back. Anyways, I had a friend whose birthday was happening that, like, it was a month ahead of time. I was like, hey, you know, Greg, could I hitch a ride with you? Do you think it's possible? And he said, yeah, for sure. And to this day, it's still my favorite trip I've ever taken because, you know, he told me all about, I've always been interested in flying. I love it. It's part of the reason why I love drones so much. It's because even though you're not actually flying, you are kind of like,
Well, yeah, you have
you
to.
get to fly a little bit. Like, you get to see from the drone's perspective and stuff. But like a round bubble cockpit, 4 seats, you know, single prop plane. We fly from Pennsylvania to New York. I get a chauffeur to the train station. Have to find my own fucking train, which is, I don't know if you did that at all. Like that, public transportation in New York City is its own fucking wild thing.
Oh, it's fun.
It is fun. It's kind of scary, I thought, at first. But once you figured it out, it was like, this isn't that bad.
I just kind of said fuck it. Like, I didn't really care. Like,
find out the wrong part of town, fuck it.
And if you mess it up, you figure it out.
Our plan was to go to every part of New York. So, I mean, like, we ended up in the Bronx. Like, it wasn't really the wrong part of town. It wasn't where I necessarily wanted to be. But
that's cool, though. But my favorite memory from that was actually, you know, like when you're with your friends and you're out drinking and you like look around, everybody's laughing, having a good time. You like look around and you realize like, I fucking love these people. I was with some old college friends and we were actually, my friend whose birthday it was is gay, so we were in a gay bar, and it was funny that like this bar is plastered with like naked dudes, like pictures of naked dudes on the wall, and it's such a surreal experience because I couldn't even like really believe that I was there because I would never really find myself in a place like that. But it was Steven's birthday and we were all celebrating with him, so we're in this gay bar in New York City, and him and a couple other friends were in town for his birthday, and like I just remember like laughing, like belly laughing, and like looking at them, and I was like, I love these fucking people so much. And like that's my favorite memory of New York. And it was hot, summertime, mid-July. It just, you know, I just have such a nice feeling about that because of the people and because of the experience and the memories and stuff. And the travel was cool as shit too. And I got a bunch of cool photos and stuff as well. But
so you had the full luxurious 4-person plane.
Yeah.
I had a luxurious 4-person Jeep.
Oh God. You guys drove there?
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad then.
No, it wasn't a bad
It's
drive.
like what, 8 hours? 9 hours?
9, 10.
Yeah, that's not
depending on how many times someone had to pee.
Of course.
It's always the worst.
It wasn't that bad. It's just like I went from working an 8-hour shift to driving to Athens, which is where all my friends were that we were headed out. And then pretty much I pulled like a 48-hour straight, and I was one of the drivers.
Oh. That's always fun.
Yeah, I'm just headed down the highway, and I'm like, it's not safe for me to be behind the wheel anymore. Somebody please take it.
Yeah, time to take a nap.
I didn't even nap.
Dude, I have to, man. I
have this thing, I can't sleep in cars.
I can sleep anywhere.
Well,
I can fall asleep right here if I needed to.
I say, if I'm tired enough, I can sleep in a car, but it'll last about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I love to take naps.
You do?
That was weird. Yeah, I love to take as many naps as I can, basically.
Did you catch up on lost time as a kid?
Always.
I'm sure we've seen the memes of like, oh, I used to hate naps as a kid. Now I'm making up for lost time or whatever. Have you seen those memes? Never seen those memes?
I don't use the internet.
God, yes, you do. Just not as much as me.
I was gonna say hardly at all.
Yeah,
I watch YouTube videos and that's it.
All right, you guys have had telepathy, and now you're working at Merc Juice.
Yeah,
Telepathy
Garrett's about done.
is my favorite. Merc Juice is probably my second favorite. We're not even
Did we ever
halfway
cheers?
through. No.
Oh.
I'm not cheersing you guys. You're drinking way faster than me. This is bullshit. This is my stand. No cheersing.
You're always the last one done, though.
Yeah, because I'm always the one talking.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm the one drinking the beer.
Do you ever get tired of me?
No.
Krista's making faces in the background.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. Oh, man.
Of me talking.
I don't know. There's been like this running thing between Luke and I where like we were talking about one of us has to outdrink Colby just by finishing it faster. Because like normally you're done in like the first 15, 20 minutes.
You're 30 minutes in now.
I was going to say, I've been chilling the last, maybe like 5 episodes. I feel like
you've been a little slower.
I've been taking my time more.
Enjoy the beer.
Well,
it's good beer.
It is
I can
about
enjoy it
enjoying
quickly.
the beer.
I can enjoy it at hyper speed. So do you have, like, you took the camera with you, of course, right?
Yeah, and then it crapped out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like battery or like just dead?
When I got home, I kind of tweaked it and found out like it was just I didn't have anything there that I could really or troubleshoot.
Yeah.
So I just kind of
Bullshit.
every photo I got ended up being on my phone.
Okay.
Which I mean, like they all
Which
turned
is still
out
good, man. My first
Yeah.
half of my life was just phone photos I took.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you can still get good ones. Actually, I saw there's a video that one of my favorite YouTubers did. It was comparing the Samsung Galaxy S10. Are we at S10 now? We're S10 now, aren't we?
It's 10 now.
Yeah, it's S10, I think it's the
Chevy
one right now.
S10.
No, not a Chevy S10.
Damn it.
Damn it, nice try. Galaxy S10, I think, compared to a 1DX Mark II. And honestly, like, there were a couple of them he put on screen, and
They're
I was like, that's
crazy,
the
aren't they?
1DX, and it was the camera.
Yeah.
But it kind of depends on the editing, too, and you gotta look for certain things, and they weren't on screen that long, you know, so it was hard to see. But, like, you can get great. Thank you, Aidan. You're the bestest. He's gonna bounce.
Take care.
You can get a lot of really good shots on a phone. And, like,
Yeah.
I will knock them for people that are like, oh, I just use my phone for things. Because, like, I want people to pay me for my cameras and use those.
Yeah.
That's really the only reason why I knock them, because they're great. The technology we have now is fantastic. So.
It's crazy. I mean, do you guys remember the first time when you called a phone a camera phone? When that was
Yeah.
a thing? When a camera phone was an actual title for
What was
a
your first
phone?
time?
First phone was those Nokia bricks,
yes.
you know?
Like the blue brick?
Yeah.
That was yours as
Yep.
well? Really?
Yeah, and I was in 8th grade. My parents were just like assholes about it. Like they're like, we're gonna get him something outdated. So
For me, it was
Oh,
like
okay, I was gonna
that
say,
was
well-
what was really available at the time. Whenever
How old were you?
I think I was in 7th grade because my brother and I got a phone together, so that when we played sports,
It's like, what, 14? 13?
yeah, 13, 14, somewhere in that range, probably about 14, and that way there were a few other phones and stuff like that available, but not
Yeah,
much.
that's
It was
probably about-
beginning of flip
That's
phones.
probably, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's probably about right. I think flip phones were starting to become popular. The Motorola blue and silver flip phone was kind of popular at that point.
Yeah. I
No,
remember
that was later than that. I had a Sony Ericsson candy bar phone.
I remember those.
Was the first one I had. It was the bottom was silver and the top was black. And it was like little like it was like it's probably like 1.5 inches by 1 inch screen. It was tiny, but it had a camera on it. An extra bonus thing. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I just wanted.
I was waiting on the poop cast.
Oh God!
This is finally.
You know what I want
it.
to do? You know what I want to do? I want to do a pup cast.
That'd be
I want to
cool.
bring dogs.
Bring dogs on here.
Bring dogs. I thought about it. I was like, I should bring my dogs to one of these, and I was like, well, not today, but we should have someone who's on who has dogs. We should bring them. You should bring your dog.
I'm not bringing my dog.
Is your dog like why?
She will tear everything up
my dog's just an asshole.
and tried to
You have a
drink
dog?
all the
Yeah.
beer.
What kind of dog do you have?
Beagle Basset mix.
Okay.
I've had him for like 13 years.
Oh wow.
He's just a really cantankerous bastard at this point.
Yeah. I fell in love with a little dog named Beans last weekend.
Oh, Beans is great. I love Beans.
This is a little white dog that was at the Perry's house, and it was a little shaggy Shih Tzu, and they said it was mentally handicapped, but I think it's just like a very like dog, like it's just kind of out there, and
I think it's also a little bit mentally handicapped.
I think that's.
I don't think so, dude. I think the dog's super smart.
I watched the dog climb up on the back of a chair and try to jump over this thing that it would not have lived if it jumped over it about
my dogs
10
do shit like that
times.
too. That's them loving their owners.
It's a
and
very
wanting-
sweet dog.
Yeah, very sweet dog. It snorted, like you'd pick it up and it'd like, and snort and stuff. Super cute. I love it. His little tongue hung out its mouth on the side.
Then that one tried to follow me onto the roof.
Oh yeah.
Sully.
Colby was on the roof last weekend too.
Yeah.
So also, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm like very energetic and kind of into things today, and that's because of this fucking weather and the time change and all that stuff.
Wait, the time changed?
Yeah, time
Shit.
changed.
I
Yeah.
honestly did
But
not know
we're
that.
finally adjusted to it because the time changed to like
Time change.
A week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago?
Sunday, 2 days
Right.
ago was a week.
okay,
after.
so yeah.
So
and
Sunday
now we're
of-
kind of adjusted to it. It's not like I was dead the first few days.
So I wasn't. I was just dead because
You were on
coming back from that
vacation.
golf trip. Yeah.
I just don't sleep. Like I sleep like 4 hours a night, so I just don't realize
Yeah.
if like I honestly, no one told me it was time change, and I don't pay enough attention
time
because
change.
everything's
See,
on
but
me.
when I was your
Yeah.
age, and I know we're not that much different in age, but there's still 5 years between us.
Yeah.
When I was your age, I never slept. I slept like 4 or 5 hours a night.
I've got my own reasons. It's
For sure.
No.
dark past.
Dark
Yeah.
past. Drugs. Violence. I'm kidding.
Violence, perhaps.
Okay, all
But
right.
not.
Yeah, time changed, and it's been nice out the last couple of days.
Has been very
It's actually been
nice.
nice, really, for the last week. It was a little cool over the weekend, but
Yeah, I got back from New York after the 60, 70
Yes.
weather.
You got
left.
hit with that real cold wind and stuff.
Yeah, I was like right next to the ocean, and it was like 30 degrees in New York while I was there. Nice spill. I had to call you out, but
whatever.
It's all right.
I spill plenty of beer.
I spill beer all the time.
Yeah. We work in a bar. Weather.
Weather.
Yeah.
You came
like-
back and
and it was just like it went back to not warm.
Yeah.
Like I missed the nice little heat wave that Jackson.
there
went
was a
through.
nice little heat wave at the beginning of last week. It cooled off,
Yeah.
and now it's going back up again. It's gonna be 50 to 70 for the next week and a half.
I'm
I
just
think.
excited to play basketball and actually get to enjoy the weather.
I'm excited to golf.
Get outside and skate
Golf,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Do you golf?
Yes.
Do you golf?
No,
I'll teach you.
I mean, I
That'd
know
be an
how
interesting
to.
trip.
I probably need retaught, but I used to golf. It's just been a
I
long
golfed
time.
once last year. I used to do it like every week, and then there was a golf course over in Chillicothe
Yeah.
that my grandpa and I would always go to, and then it shut down because there was a really bad storm several years ago. I was back in middle school, and they never reopened it.
Really?
Yeah.
What one?
Running Fox or Fox
Yeah,
Run.
yeah.
It was the
Fox
par
Run.
3 over there.
Is it a Fox Run or something like that? Something Fox.
I say there was-
Running Fox or something?
There was
I can't remember
Fox
what it was.
Run and then Running Fox, and they were two
Oh.
different golf courses side by side. One was
Okay.
like a normal course,
Yeah,
and the
no,
other
it
was
was
just
par
par
three.
3. And my grandpa would always play par 3 because he's really good at golf.
Yeah.
So he'd get like birdies on everything, and then I'd get like 3 over.
I'd like to go play a par 3 course again because I'm decent at golf. I can, especially I'm good with my
I
wedge
was
game.
gonna
Is very
say
good.
some dude randomly was talking about how good you are at golf the other day at the liquor store.
What?
They said, "Hey, you're on that podcast with Brinker, right?" And I said, "Yeah." They said, "He's a pretty good golfer." I said, "Okay."
Okay.
As they were walking out the door,
Yeah.
and that was the end of the conversation.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Do you ever have weird conversations like that about me? Like that's like an outlier, or is that stuff like it happen?
You get brought up here and there.
It's weird.
Because we're in this podcast together. People see us together. They know I work at the bar. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It gets brought up. So.
Yeah. I do enjoy golf, and I can't wait for the weather to like. Where I was going with all that is, I know people will knock like seasonal depression and things like that. I don't think I was really depressed, but I hate bad cold weather.
Me
Hate
too.
it.
See, seasonal depression is like overrated. Try normal depression. It's
Yeah.
it's way better.
Yeah, way.
Yeah, it
better.
doesn't matter if it's warm or cold. You just hate yourself
See,
regardless.
we live in this environment though, where there's just a lot of gray tones
Yeah.
and a lot of
He's fucking done. He won.
he won. There it is, boy.
I say that last one.
He
it
won
was-
the competition nobody knew we were having.
Exactly. That last one was good, but like I don't know, it had a coffee kind of aftertaste.
It's a
You should get caramel and malt out of it. You'll get a little bit of scotchy, whiskey, like bourbony kind of burn, but you'll get a lot of caramel and malt. What you should get out of it.
Well, I'm like, my palate is pretty plain.
Yeah.
So I
gonna
got
train
I
in
got
the
a,
dark stuff.
Pretty much, I got like a coffee-ish taste, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
a
it.
lot of those dark ones, well, for me, like, I'm still kind of between that and kind of developing.
Yeah.
But I can taste some of the stuff, but I'm still developing my palate for darker beer.
Yeah, and that was one of my favorites whenever I first started coming in here as a customer. I would get it. Partly because a lot of times that was the strongest one they had on the menu. And
that's what you want.
I just
You-
kind of
you
went
just-
for this-
a lot of- you know
I just
how many
kinda wait
people-
for it.
Most
Yeah.
of the time, if I know I'm coming here, I just don't eat previously because
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
you can get. Well, I mean, like you can get
Hold
a pretty
on,
good.
you were the
can get-
accomplice to the Taco Bell in the fucking.
No, I was not.
You were the accomplice.
No, Luke wants to claim that. I was
No,
not.
You were in the car.
I was in the
You
car.
were just as guilty.
I told him, I said, they serve tacos. And he's like, yeah, Matt won't care. I told him to eat it in the truck. He
Luke,
didn't.
if you see this, fuck you.
Oh,
Exactly.
He'll be watching it.
Like,
Wow. Yeah.
because
fuck
he
you,
called
Luke.
me out. He's like, what was Garrett's idea? I never suggested Taco Bell. I wasn't hungry. I never eat when I come here because I can get drunk cheaper.
Jesus.
It's the truth.
To be young and
Exactly.
broke again.
Yeah.
I'm not broke.
I'm
I just,
old
I
and
don't want
broke,
to spend.
though.
I just don't want to spend money.
Actually, I haven't actually worked in the last 2 weeks.
I was gonna say,
Like,
you've been
for
working, you've
dollars.
been doing stuff,
I've
but
been
you've
working
not
my
made
ass
any
off.
money.
I've made $0 in the past 2 weeks because, I mean, but I also had worked my ass off to build up some money to be able to take 2 weeks off to do vacation for the first time in 6 years and then shoot the film and stuff like that. It's like, I'm okay still, but it's still, I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, like I need to start making money again because I just do, because everybody needs cash flow coming in. But
sure.
I also have a bunch of jobs coming in. I had someone, and I might need your help on this actually. This might be where I was thinking about changing the Matt Brinker Productions to Brinker Media House like today. I actually almost did it today. Someone contacted me asking about podcasting services. Would you do, like, produce a podcast for us? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I haven't formally offered it to anybody, but I have all the equipment to do it. And then Aidan said he would help. I figured you'd probably be on board. And of course, if it's a paid gig where we're doing it regularly, I will pay you guys for your time for that stuff too. So something I thought about doing that I wanted to run past you. So maybe there will be some dollars that come out of this thing eventually instead of just free beer, or not free beer, but like
Well, it's services.
free beer.
We're getting paid for our services. We're promoting the beer.
We are.
And
the
we
brewery.
get beer in
And
exchange.
people, local people, and all that stuff.
For sure.
So-
And honestly,
Okay.
sorry,
No.
honestly, you probably wouldn't have tried all those beers.
I would have eventually, because like every now and then I'll get a flight board and just try the stuff that's on the menu that I haven't.
Yeah.
But typically I just go with.
But I guess
Merc or
not
Meth.
necessarily you, but just our guest wouldn't always come in here and try these beers, so it's good to have access to them in
I say
some
a
way
lot of
or
times with
another.
beer, I've realized people just kind of fall into a rut. Like they like this, they don't want to differ from this, so they just get the same old stuff. over and over.
Bushlight.
Yeah, and that's really where you can. I mean, I drink PBR forever, and I love PBR.
See that video of rolling the PBR, dude?
Yes,
That's
I loved
hilarious.
it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yes. Are they next week? They are next week, aren't they?
The 26th,
They
yeah,
are.
Yeah.
they are next week.
How do you know that?
Because he told me about
Okay.
it. I come in here when you guys aren't here because
Oh, okay.
I like drinking every now and then.
The note still says Dustin and Roland will
I
cancel.
told them too. They were both with me, and I said,
Yeah.
guys, you have to show up because Matt is 100% certain you're not
Will
going to cancel,
Oh,
or
they're
that
gonna
you're not
cancel.
going to be
you
there.
watch. They will cancel. One of them. Watch.
Well, at least we'll have one of them.
Either of them would be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Those two together are pretty funny anyways.
I can't work with those guys. They bring out the worst in me.
They shouldn't. You're going to have to work with them at least for a while.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, Dustin's here. We work with
No,
Dustin
not
Friday.
like the worst of me in a bad. They just bring out the worst of my humor.
Oh.
Like that far
Oh,
side. You know
yeah.
exactly what I'm
Yeah,
talking
nah.
I
about.
was gonna say you and I have always been like that though.
Oh yeah, you,
we
me,
make-
and well, not even really.
I don't know what you guys are
Luke
talking
really
about.
didn't. It was just you
I was
and
gonna
me.
say Luke doesn't have the darker sense of humor. Like
The
I'll tell
twisted stuff that you're
Remind
like-
me to tell you something later. It was somebody mentioned my hair, and there was a thought that came to mind. And I'm like, I cannot say this out loud.
Wow. Because, what is it? Is it Bates Motel? Bates Motel, the show.
I've never watched it, but
Oh
I've
my
heard
God.
a lot about
You
it.
actually remind me of the kid from Bates Motel a little bit. A
asshole.
little bit. No.
The dude who wanted to fuck his mother? No. How about we don't?
I'm so confused.
I forgot that part about his personality.
That's the whole thing.
Sorry. Yeah, but he ends up killing all the people. He's got all these dark thoughts and shit like that. And like, you just kind of. Something
Okay.
about your face reminds me of his
I
face
have
a little
dark
bit.
thoughts, but I've never wanted to kill everyone.
Just a couple of
Exactly.
people.
There's a select few.
Watch Bates Motel. It's good.
This episode is rough.
Yeah.
Like
I'm all right
half
with
of
it.
it has to be censored already.
Yeah,
Like,
beep, 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 beep. Like, I'm gonna throw a bunch of
just throw in
quacks
that
and
vibe
beeps and-
song for like.
Bingo. Well, first off,
It's
I
your
wanna
boy.
It's your boy.
Say, but first off, to piggyback a little bit,
We're shooting
What's
this.
next?
We're shooting this film, and me and Jalen, Jules' cousin, are holding this sheet up. And on the bed, there's these two girls making out for this scene, and Matt's got to film it. And me and Jalen are just dancing to this song, like just enjoying ourselves holding this sheet.
And both of you looked at each other and thought, "This is what a porn set is like." Didn't you? This is what a porn shoot is like. And that's it. I was talking to somebody about that, and my most kind of like awkward moment, which I don't really get. I mean, I don't really care that much, and I don't like awkward moments. Actually, are kind of funny to me. But like, I was telling someone, I was like, yeah, you know, there's two girls to the scene or whatever, and I was laying on the bed, and there were two people over here watching, and another person over here watching, two people over here watching, and one person over here watching, and then one person was like taking ice and trying to give someone chill bumps, and I'm laying on the bed with the camera with this girl who's, there actually was two people watching over there. and someone's trying to give chill bumps to this girl, and blah, 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 like, and I'm laying on the bed with the camera trying to film it, and like it was the whole thing was just like objectively
It's so-
weird.
The whole weekend was really weird, but like that part was probably the. If you were to just walk into the room, you'd be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I say I'm like an objectively awkward person. Like I will try to make situations
I
awkward.
agree with that.
Like that's fine.
I'm sorry, it's okay.
Oh no, it's good. Like I just try to make people uncomfortable at times because like I'm always uncomfortable. I'm always awkward. So and I'm always anxious. So I just try to make other people like I try to put other people into the state that I'm in.
Do you think
so,
you
like,
can
we
help
relate.
that? Do you think you can help that? Being anxious and uncomfortable all the time?
Do I think I could help it?
Yeah.
Probably. There's medications out there, but I refuse to take
See,
them.
I don't think medications are the answer.
No, I don't either. That's why I don't take them.
Yeah.
I just live my life sad and scared.
Sad and anxious and scared.
Exactly.
I
But, like,
think it can all be tweaked. I think everything's a mindset. Like I really do. And I know
Yeah, I mean-
people would argue with me to the death about shit like that. I'm sure, but like,
Oh, yeah.
I agree, it's a mindset. I think sometimes though it takes sometimes it does take a chemical to kick the mindset into gear.
yeah.
Sometimes it takes
I would agree with that as the catalyst to make the
a
thing happen.
workshop. Sometimes it takes something. Some people need therapy. Some people need this. They need that. Whatever it might be. But there has to be, like you said, a catalyst. There has to
I
be
think
something.
therapy would do a lot of people wonders.
I don't know. I once told a therapist to fuck off.
Dude, you guys want to hear
I
a
heard that
weird
about you.
story?
I'm just kidding.
Really? That makes sense.
No,
Like, I'd believe
I've
it.
been saying that all weekend where people will say something and I'd be like, I heard that about you.
Yeah, that's been his thing. Instead of your mom or something, it's been I've heard that about you.
Yeah, but it's been pretty funny.
So I'm
though.
at Walmart,
Yes.
right?
Okay, Walmart.
And I pick up Larry. We go to Walmart. And he's
Larry.
getting dog tags for his dog. And this woman just looks at me and she's looking at me all weird and shit. And I'm like, okay, what's this girl looking at me like that for? And she goes, are you from Jackson? And I went, yeah. She's like, I thought so. I was like, okay. Didn't say that, obviously. And she's about 10 feet away from me, screaming in Walmart at me. And she said,
As people often do.
I thought so. I know you from. And I said, well, I don't know where I know you from. Where do I know you from? She said, I was your therapist. I was like, okay. In my head, I'm like, this isn't legal, but go on. And
Why
she,
is everything legal today?
and she's like, she
Everything was about poop
continues.
last week, and now it's about legal predicaments this week. Shit.
She keeps like talking and talking.
Was she
and
actually?
talking. Yes, she was literally my therapist. I didn't recognize her because
Oh wow.
I don't really.
She
I mean,
really
Blocked out
shouldn't
that
She's
be.
part of your
probably
breast.
watching. She's pretty creepy, so she's probably watching this podcast.
Yeah, she really shouldn't be telling you that in public.
That's
either.
what I'm saying.
that's-
Like it's illegal, like straight up
Oh, yeah.
illegal and
Like
against
doctor-patient
the.
confidentiality.
Well, then she like I don't know. She didn't look like she was all there, and like
Which is a great quality for a therapist.
Yes, that's exactly what we need in all therapists.
I kind of like walk my way out of the conversation, and she goes out to she leaves Walmart. We get our dog tag. We go outside to the car.
What did Larry do with all this? Is Larry just losing
He's
it
just
off to the side?
He's just getting a dog tag. I think he was drunk or something because he was like
Oh,
he was
Larry.
like literally he
you in
said
Chilla Coffee or in?
Yeah, in Chilla Coffee.
Okay.
and he said, what did he say to me? He said, yeah. I said, why'd you get an Ohio State Buckeyes one? You don't even like the Buckeyes. He said, my dog does. I was like, man, you're fucked up. But anyway, so we get out to the car, and I see her car is like the same row, but like on the inside, and we're on the outside, and it's a few spots away. So we get in the car, and she like pulls up beside my car and like waves at me, like
Oh, wow.
smiles and waves, and I'm like, oh my fucking
Oh, wow.
goodness. So she drives away. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I told this story to Ebbs at the bar the other day, and I was like, man, like, why was she my therapist when she's obviously the fucking
needs
crazy
therapy.
one?
Yes, she needs
like,
therapy.
Like, what the hell, man?
By the way, him and What's Her Nuts were here all freaking day long.
Danielle.
Also, you didn't say the name. Never
sorry.
mind. I'm 86 in that story. It's over. They were here all day drinking. That's all. Shout out to you, day drinkers. We love you. Fucked it up, Colby.
I'm sorry. I was like, understand.
Cool. All right. Anyways. This is probably the most random episode, but I'm actually, and he's drinking the
I
water
need to
like
drink
it's
a lot of
50.
water now.
I'm actually very happy about it because after the couple weeks that we've had and it being stressful, it's nice just to kind of just sit back and talk
Just
shit.
make
and
stuff
relax.
up,
Yeah,
right?
Hang out a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
hang out a little
like-
bit, drink some beer, talk.
Which is pretty much from what I remember. Is that not how
That's
Shaky
I got-
Shutters
yeah, that's how I
started?
got started. I was
So tell that story.
It was you, Luke, myself, and Logan.
Mm-hmm.
We were just sitting out back on his grandparents' porch or something.
Yeah.
And you and Luke were both like, well, Garrett, you have a creative side. You might as well do something with it. And then Luke needed a photographer for his work. So, and that's how I really got started. I just did shots for his products. But Luke's like, you have that camera. And the whole reason I got into photography was because there was this girl I was interested in.
It's always a girl, man.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm really into photography." So she went out, and I was with her, and she bought a camera. So I was like, "Oh okay, yeah," and like she wanted to go out and take photos of just whatever. So I was like, "Okay." So I went out the next day and bought. It was like a better camera because I mean I'm not ever one to try and be outdone.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought like the better version of what she bought, and we went out, took photos one day. 2 weeks later, we never talked again. I would say, like, I still haven't talked to her since then. But
$300 later, we haven't spoken.
yeah, like, I say I was heartbroken because I spent all that money on a camera. It had nothing to do with her.
And look at you now.
Yeah,
It's the best mistake you ever made.
exactly.
No,
Most of my mistakes are because of a girl.
damn women. The
But
worst. Just kidding.
they were like, "Oh, you have that camera. You might as well put it to use." And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
So that's how that all
That's
got
his
started.
response
and
for everything.
pretty much. My whole life mentality
But
is
you
just.
should.
I say, like,
Yeah.
my life motto is generally just fuck it.
Yeah.
There's
Like-
this guy at church camp. Every time that a preacher would say anything, they'd be like, "God is in heaven." The guy would be like, "Sure." And I was like, I was always so confused as to why that guy
I was
always
hoping
said
that
sure.
He had my mentality where it's just, God is in heaven. Fuck it.
Wow. I think that's the mentality you should have in life. I think that you should say yes to everything you possibly can and figure out the details later on.
Exactly.
Until you get to the point where you can't keep up anymore, then you have to start saying no to things.
Yeah, then I just start making it up and I still go with it.
Well,
That's the thing.
Yeah,
Failure
but
played out.
eventually that bites you in the ass because you can't keep up with what you need to be able to do, and then people get pissed off because you can't do the thing you said you were going to do, and then it fucks
I've
you.
been in
So-
that boat too many
so
times.
you've got to balance that and
Oh,
keep,
yeah.
keep that in mind in your future with stuff. It's like if someone says, "Hey, can you do this?" and you're like, "Yeah, sure," and then you like forget or you get busy or you can't
It's
do it.
so
or
hard
whatever.
to be like directly honest about that and say, "Hey, dude, like I hope the best for you. I would like to work with you, but I don't have the time. Like
Yeah.
I really don't have the time, and I'm sorry."
Yep. You just have to. You just have to be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't right now, because I have this XYZ." Are they here? Oh, let him in. Yeah, little guy. Oh, we got some people coming in. Hey, Jay, what's up, dude? Jalen's coming in to talk about what we're going to talk about after this. So I think it's super important. I think to say yes to everything, figure it out. I've seen a bunch of memes and quotes and stuff about like entrepreneurs or people that jump out of the plane and sew their parachute on the way down, or or jump off the cliff and build their plane on the way down, like stupid metaphors and shit like that.
Yeah.
But really, it is. You say yes to everything. You figure out the details later on, and then you figure out how you can get everything done the way you need to. But then again, like at some point, you have to say no, though.
I say, like 9 times out of 10, my plan is I'm going to do this. And then up until that day, I'm figuring out how in the hell am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I mean, we do
That's
that.
always how I've been.
Like I've experienced every level of that through everything I've done in my life. Is like, there's a lot of in the moment figuring shit out you have to do. But I guess my point is make sure you don't overextend yourself. But I love that mentality.
And
I
like,
love it.
Before him and Luke convinced me to start like with photography, I had never taken a photo for a reason other than I needed to remember that, or
Like click. I need to
like
remember
it's like
that.
I need this information. I'm gonna
Not
take
even
a
like
picture
this
of
is pretty. Click. I want to see it again.
Not really.
Really.
More, it was kind of just all like, I say if it was something like a memory I didn't want to forget,
Yeah.
or information that I needed later.
Yeah.
And then like after they were like said that, I was like, well shit, like yeah, I can do photos.
So is Luke
And-
paying you, by the way?
Not yet, because
Okay.
like he wanted, just
Okay.
as a startup, like him and I
Luke,
kind of
fuck you. Pay him.
no, like once I get a new camera, he
Yeah.
said like he's going to pay me, do a bunch of product shots,
Yeah.
and like have them like actually staged.
That,
'cause-
that was my next question for you. Is you said you don't really have an end game or where it's going, all that stuff, but when are you going to make your first dollars, and what do you want to do with those dollars?
I'd say
That's kind of a hard thing to put you on the spot for, but like I think it needs to happen.
Like
'cause
I agree. Like, and pretty much, I'm just kind of. I've got some people who've talked to me about doing like a paid shoot.
Yeah.
And then either they just never got in touch with me about it,
Yeah.
or they're still trying to plan something.
Follow up.
Oh, I do. Like I'm
and
constantly
follow up
annoyed
again.
the shit out
Yeah.
of the first
Garrett
girl
and
who
I
said,
are going to be doing something
True,
sometime
involving
soon.
the
yeah.
trident.
Yeah, I'm mostly just waiting on the trees to have leaves again.
Oh yeah.
And
Trees
you're
have
doing a
leaves
shoot with
again,
Melissa
we're good.
tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Who are you shooting
You should
with?
make Melissa
Melissa.
pay you.
Awesome.
You're a model. You should
Yeah.
make Melissa pay you.
Frankly, it's
Melissa,
more
if
of-
you see this, actually, it's going to be over by the time she watches this. But Melissa, you should have paid him.
I'm not. I don't know. For that, like, I'm not really interested in the money. I'm just kind of like, it's something
Yeah.
that I think will be fun to do.
Yeah.
And I mean,
For sure. Have you done modeling?
look at me. No.
Well, I mean, she picked you for a
Hey,
reason.
you said it, not us.
She picked me for a reason, and it's because like I'm one of the friends that she made early on.
It's because I told her this morning to get a hold of you because you were on the podcast tonight and do a photo shoot with you. And I said, get hold of Colby and then do this and do that and blah,
Well,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
but,
blah, blah.
but
Well, she
still,
got it. Like,
she
mentioned-
posted that
yeah, she
forever
mentioned-
ago.
yeah, it
about
was like
what,
2
a
or
week
3
and a
weeks
half ago,
ago.
2 weeks
Did she
ago?
contact you again today, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Today is whenever we planned it.
I rest my case.
I'm not saying you didn't have a part in that. I'm just
I
saying
rest my case.
I was involved in that beforehand.
Okay,
Like,
I know, but
But no,
It's
like
fun. I love modeling. It's a lot of fun.
you should make dollars next week from your camera, with or without the new camera.
Fair
It doesn't
enough.
be a lot of dollars. Just ask for what you think is fair, and then execute and provide more value than they give you in dollars. Give them more, whether it be more photos or better quality photos, whatever it is, and then keep flipping that up from there.
Yep.
Turn it into a fucking company, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Like-
that simple. Just keep executing, keep doing better and better and better and better, and then look back a year or two from now, and you'll have a company that people are paying you way more to do.
And it's
So-
the same mindset that you've used at the filling station to get to where you are there. You know?
fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
That's well. I mean,
I don't
that's
think
what
fuck
you.
it's the right mindset here.
I do.
That's always the
I
mindset.
think
No,
that-
it is, but
that
like,
it is.
like fuck it, yeah, let's do it. Yes,
Yeah,
and then
like, it's never-
execute.
I mean, that's been the mindset of this podcast
yeah.
Yeah,
like,
since
it,
day
let's do
one.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And here we are, all this shit.
And if you think about it, it feels like yesterday we were like, hey,
This is
do
episode
you
20.
wanna-
5 months, dude. 5 months.
You remember though? It was like, hey, let's shoot a podcast, and I kept bugging you for a minute
Yes.
about it, and then finally we were just like,
Yeah, we
hey,
did.
let's shoot a podcast, and you were like, let's shoot a podcast, and then we're like, let's do it next week.
Yeah, I was like, I think we said Tuesday, and it was like, okay, go.
And it was like probably Thursday or Friday or something whenever we said that. It was like 4 or 5 days later that we actually did it.
Yeah, it was very quick.
As far as the other question, like what I would do with the money, pretty much every dollar I make from photography, I plan on just putting back into
Back
it.
into it. Good.
And that's
'Cause,
That's- that's smart.
I
the
would say
best
I
thing
have,
to do.
I have a side job, like well, not a side job. I work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, you have a job.
I say I'm a manager.
And this is
but-
your side thing.
Yeah, like
So-
photography is my side thing. So pretty much every dollar I make from photography, I'll just put back into that. And
Smart.
I'll have the money from my actual job just to do
That's the blueprint.
exactly, just to have an actual like
Yep.
pay the bills.
That's what you gotta do, man. All right, we are up against it, so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you all so much for watching. Links in the description below. I appreciate it, especially us being able to kind of sit here and talk
shit.
shit, shoot the shit.
Oh,
It's been
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So thank you all, and we'll see you next time. We out.
Peace.
Later.
See ya.